everyone. Thank you very, very much for being here. I really appreciate the interest and the support from all of you. What I want to do right now is just get everybody to take a moment and take a nice deep breath. Whether you're on camera or not, does not matter. Just take a moment and get yourself grounded. So taking 3 deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. So in, 3, 3, 3. Very controlled. 2, 2, 2, and just feel your own connection to self and to source. And on this last exhale, just release all the cares and the stresses so that you can be fully present here today. And I'm going to ask you all to just kind of set an intention for what you'd like to get out of today. And I'm going to start by sharing why this is so important to me and why I'm doing it in this fashion now. The Emotional Mastery Program or Emotional Mastery Membership Program has been something that's been coming for a long time. I understand through my own experiences the challenges and the obstacles of, letting the emotions run the show. And so through my journey and my own, healing practices, I've discovered ways of doing that's much simpler, much more effective, and less about talk therapy and, sharing your story. And this is something that I think is really important for people in general right now because of all that's going on in the world. There's so much chaos and so much noise that we are bombarded with emotions from our family, emotions from work. And most of the time, our reactions are what's running the show, what's driving our decisions and our choices. And most of the people, I would say 95% of the population, if not more, are actually unaware of this. And so bringing this to the awareness is only going to help benefit people, relationships, raise people's frequencies. And this is all done from that space of love. And those of you who know me, love is my foundation. It always has been and will always be. So this is why I am so excited to be able to bring this to you guys today. What is emotional mastery? What's it really about? And you'll see me just glancing at my notes here, just so that I hit all of the points, because if I don't do that, I will get lost and on a tangent, and we don't want that. So emotional mastery is not about suppressing your emotions, which is something we've learned to do in our lifetime. It really is learning how to understand emotions instead of being ruled by them. Moving from autopilot reactions to a conscious response. I often say, when we're 0 to 100 in 2.2 seconds, that's not a conscious thing. That literally is the emotions running things. Sometimes it's our inner child running things, right? So we're going to learn about all of this so that you can actually master and be present in your authentic, grounded, centered self and move forward from that. You're going to heal the old emotional patterns that are driving you. They're the ones that are at the root. They start in childhood. A simple example of that is, oh, don't do that. Mom and dad's really upset. Oh, do that. Mom and dad is really happy. That element is internalized as a youngster that I'm now responsible to make everybody else happy, or I'm to blame if someone's angry or upset. And it takes away from us really understanding ourselves, because we go out into the world and we repeat patterns of stories, circumstances, situations, and even people that reinforce that early messaging. So it compounds it. So then we move into adulthood, and in this adulthood, we're still reacting from that messaging. This is going to help you to build inner stability. There's nothing and no one that should be able to rattle you. No circumstance or situation has to rattle you. A lot of times it's a choice, which, the emotional mastery program will help you to understand better. It's not what's happening on the outside that's rattling you, it's something within. This is going to help you to create peace, confidence, and self-trust, and live with an awareness instead of staying in a survival state. And I understand survival state. I lived my own life of mental, emotional, physical, and I believe even sexual abuse at a young age. That later led to a rape in my teens. And even at that point, I had an attitude, shit happens. Don't ask me where that came from. And my family did not know because I suppressed it, didn't share. Because back in that day and that time and that era, I would have been blamed as the woman. It was my fault, which I knew wasn't the truth somehow, even at 17. It is really good to feel deeply. In fact, they're sacred teachers, no matter what the emotion is. But you don't have to drown in it. You don't have to be buried by it. And I want you to know if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Just raise your hand, and because this is interactive for me. It's not just about me teaching. It's about, okay, what is it you want to learn? What questions might you have? And don't hesitate, okay? I really do know what it's like to suffer. I do really know how we can contribute to our own suffering with how we speak to ourselves. I have a huge understanding of how we receive the messaging as children, but how it ends up being us delivering that same message with our own narratives and our own stories. I know what it feels like to be lost, overwhelmed, anxious. I've suffered with anxiety and depression. And back in the day when I had the depression, I was in an abusive marriage. I could cry at the drop of a hat. I had my husband threatening me and strangling me to kill me. And my youngest son watched this. So we left that abusive situation, but the abuse didn't leave us. There was a lot of work that needed to be done. And at that particular time, I was blaming everybody. My mom, my dad, the world around me, blaming myself, not really and blaming my husband, but not really holding him accountable at the time. And so this started me on my journey of figuring things out for myself. But it wasn't until I took responsibility and said, okay, I've had a history here of abuse. As a child, you do not have a choice. But as I got into my adulthood, I started to see, hey, I was choosing a similar pattern, a similar person. Forms of abuse, varying forms of abuse in different relationships. And when I took responsibility and said, wait a minute, I'm the one common denominator in all of this. What am I gaining from it? What do I need to learn? Or what's the reason for my doing this and accepting this and receiving this? So going out into the traditional therapy, I was grateful that my doctor, first of all, when I wrote things out and said, this is what's been happening. And she said, okay, you need to go to this place in Hamilton that was for abuse, St. Matthew's, I believe it was called. And you need to go to 6 sessions and see what's going on. And I committed to those 6 sessions, and boy, oh boy, was it an eye-opener. That in itself, it wasn't me talking. I was just allowing the other women in the group to talk. And I could see and understand what I was experiencing on a deeper level. As I moved into therapy, what I noticed is a lot of it was about coping or managing. And even in the coping and the managing, I was still repeating patterns for many years later. until I decided to go to college and took everything that I experienced to be able to support and empower other people. Then what happened is I went to a spiritual healing course when I was working on Six Nations Reserve. And in that course, I did not have a clue of how powerful our own healing can be for other people. So most people are not getting to the root cause. Spiritual healing helped me to get there. Energy work started to help me to get there. Then I discovered a modality that helped me to actually do the work with less talk. Because one of the things that I found is that talking my story, and I'm sure those of you who've maybe sought help elsewhere or even just talking with friends, you end up feeling more yucky and re-traumatizing yourself. And then you're carrying that energy with you as you move forward. Nothing is moved or shifted. So I've created, through my own experiences, the point of awareness method, which is a hypnotic meditative process that helps you get to the root cause. You're not going to forget memories. You're not going to lose anything other than the emotional attachment to the memories, or lose the narrative and the stories that you've been feeding yourself and replacing it. Because it's great to clear it, but we've got to replace it with the positive. We've got to replace it with a much better, healthier narrative about ourselves. And so that's what the point of awareness is about. And that's what this emotional mastery program is about. You're going to create a greater emotional calm, which a lot of people, believe it or not, when they get into that calm, it's almost like they're bored. Because people are used to be at this heightened state vibrationally of being either anxious or angry. And that's a different vibration than a peace and a calm. And when you get to that peace and that calm, it's like you'll sabotage. So it's through this whole process, you're going to learn about all of these things for yourself. Right now, I just want to give you a little tool to help you to better understand this. I want you to take a moment and just breathe. Just pause. I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to think about something in the week that you reacted to. And just notice where you're feeling it in the body. And then take a moment and just ask yourself, what am I reacting to in that moment? Where did it come from? But take the focus off what's in front of you and really look at what it might remind you of. Ask yourself, is that real? Or is that someone else's truth? Right? A lot of times we will go into reacting, step away and go, wow, I didn't really need to react like that. Where did that come from? What's going on? But slowing things down and taking a step back and just asking these questions and trust in your inner wisdom to give you the response. If you're overanalyzing or overthinking, what you're actually doing is taking yourself into a space of survival state. If you're asking why it happened, you're taking yourself right back to 5-year-old survival mode. We don't need to have all the answers. Why? Who made you God? Who made me God? So when we can relax and go, okay, I'm experiencing this, what's really going on? The minute that we're blaming the circumstance or the situation in front of us, we've just handed over our power. So this is something very simple that you can start to apply. All of this is going to help you create stronger boundaries. Boundaries are not about controlling anyone. Boundaries are about what will I live with and what will I not live with. What is aligned with me? What's not aligned with me? Often the extremes are deal breakers, but there's a whole lot of boundaries before the deal breakers. And a lot of times we end up blurring our own boundaries because of our narrative in the past, because of the root messaging and emotions. As you go through this process, you will actually develop a stronger self-worth and a knowing about yourself. The nervous system will naturally start to regulate. That's what I love about this process, is you don't have to be overthinking anything. With the point of awareness, when you're clearing those core messaging, you naturally and organically start to step into who you are. And then you can start to honor that. At the same time, you can honor the mistakes, the emotions, even the negative messaging, because it all served a purpose. What we often do is we often judge ourselves or beat ourselves up because we're feeling a certain way. And that really doesn't serve for you to step into who you are. Through this process will help you to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly, and love all of it. An unconditional love and acceptance, because we are in the human experience. And it's our human experiences that actually awaken the wisdom in our soul. And then we integrate that wisdom, that spiritual part of ourselves, with this human experience. And in order for us to live a peaceful, contented life, we need to do that. We need to bridge those two things. You'll see relationships improve, increased confidence, the freedom of not repeating those same old patterns over and over and over again. And most of us go through life doing the same thing over and over again, trying the same thing over and over again, and expecting a different result. Now it's time to do something different for yourself. Do you believe you deserve a deeper peace and a deeper joy in your life? Because if you don't, there's something holding you back. The whole idea of me bringing this out to people in this way is also to create a community of people who are doing their work. Because I often speak about the lone wolves, and I know for a very long time I was a lone wolf in the world. You feel lost. You feel, where are my people? Because when you do the work, all of a sudden, you see things with clarity around you. Sometimes people don't like the changes they see. That does not matter. Your opinion of me, good or bad, is none of my business. But now we're navigating life in a completely conscious, eye-opening way. We need to be able to connect with one another when we're doing that. That, in the traditional therapy that I've done alone and in my practice, that has been very evident that there isn't enough of the gathering of people who are doing the work. So vibrationally, there's an understanding and a connection. Now, we don't want to be only in that, because that will only create more pain in a different way. But it's in doing that that we literally are able to help raise the vibration of each other, support one another, so that you can go out and plant the seeds of healing, of unconditional love and acceptance in the world around you. And imagine the ripple effect, the more people that are doing that. So this really is about raising the vibration, raising the collective consciousness, but it's reaching people at the core in their humanness. And that's what I absolutely love about this. And I've been blessed to work for the last 7 years with my own practice and seen the miraculous changes in people's lives. And it be tried, true, steady. I know from my own experience personally how much this really helps. So I not only am bringing it to the world, I'm living it. How am I living it? My God, since I was 55, which is when my life actually began, being 64 now, literally my life did a 180. I fell in love with myself. I accepted my imperfections. I've accepted my flaws. We're human. They're going to be there. But when I started to love myself and embrace who I truly am, magic happened. A beautiful relationship came to me because I was ready for it, because I was loving myself. I was, by practice, the universe literally supported me in my practice. Then people who'd come to me, the word of mouth really blossomed to the point that I was having 30 sessions a week. Let me tell you, it can get exhausting. But that's why this process now, taking it out this way to the world, creating community, creating connection, I won't be so burnt out, but it's going to have a ripple effect in your worlds. So this is for people, the Emotional Mastery membership is for people who are ready for change, who are ready to commit to themselves to be the best version of who they can be. And anything is possible. I got my dream car. I got a condo in the Dominican. These were things that I wasn't even fully dreaming of. Yes, the dream car I've liked since I was 16 years old, my Mustang. But I finally got it because I believed in myself, because I healed my negative messaging, my scarcity mentality. These are all things that interfere, and they're all deeply rooted from childhood and then our life experiences. It can be magical for you as well. If you're tired of repeating the cycles, this can help you. If you want peace and you want to stand in your power, this can help you. The freedom is in you. This isn't something that I'm doing to you. This is you doing the work. I just hold the space, the love, and the knowing that it can happen for you. The doors now will open for you. Magic happens. Everyone says magic? What the heck? But life can be magical, and it can be full of joy and peace. I'm not saying that life isn't going to throw curveballs, but you will handle them much differently. You don't have to get lost in them. So I invite you to email me at Pamela@Evolove. Well, that's the old business. That's funny. My original foundation, Pamela@DivineWhispersCoaching.ca. If you're interested in more information, don't hesitate. I want to open it up for questions right now. Does anybody have any questions? Any feedback, any comments? Again, this is interactive, so I am open to whatever at this particular point.
How is this 12 months different than potentially having, 12 sessions with you and using the point of awareness method?
It's different in the sense that it slows the process down a little. So with the Emotional Mastery membership program, you're going to have journal prompts. You're going to have it's a meditation, guided meditation. So a lot of things are added to it that I don't, and I'm unable to do in an hour session, so that you can actually integrate over the month. So the first month is going to be all around awareness. So everything will be on the focus. So it's broken down into chunks, making it a little bit easier for digesting all of it, because this is about a transformation over that time. I'm not saying that people in the one-on-one, but it's a lot of people paying $165 for an hour session. It's not always attainable. So the price point is going to be more attainable. It's going to allow to create the community right? And energetically as well as physically connecting, it's going to make a huge difference in keeping it going as well. Because a lot of times, if it's just one person going out, they do their work, but then they have to go out into the public and work with people who aren't where they are. I know most of you can understand that. And that can be draining. So to have this to come back to for a year, it's going to be ingrained.
So is this an open container or like
It's open
ongoing enrollment then? So there'll always be, people coming and
to new
going.
people. Absolutely. But you're going to take with it what you can take with it, right? That's the whole idea of this. But also, when we start to share from that place of understanding, it's amazing what we learn from other people. Like that's what I love about this. I know for me, group work was a foundational thing for me for growth. And this is just a way for me to bring it to the table because I do want this to go global. Because it's not just people in my area that need it, it's needed everywhere. So that's the whole idea behind this. It's slowing the process down, it's ingraining it so that you're going to be solid in who you are. There's not going to be any question at the end of it. I know for those of you who have worked with me on the one-on-one, that yeah, it happens really quickly and profoundly. But I want this to be more about ingraining it for the long haul and making a difference in what you're doing, what you're bringing to the table. Thoughts, comments, Luann?
Processing.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Very curious. Definitely want more information because
And
so for those of you that don't know me, I also run a women's program, and I am a firm believer in as a coach, I need a coach. And so I do actively seek out containers that support me in my journey. Um, and I also feel that as we integrate or shed that combination of one layer, the next layer starts becoming available to us to do the next layer. Um, and I have done work with Pam um, personally a number of years ago. Um, and why that is very unique is her and I met through a completely different venue 5 years before that. And so Pam and I seem to have a connection that kind of comes into play what has seemed like approximately every 5 years for the next shift.
well, thank you, Luann. Yeah, it is very interesting, and all of us are guided in this exact same way. And
And
when
she
we
did not plant me here, if anybody think that that is not the case. I am not a plant.
anyone who knows me knows that that's not how I operate. Like it isn't. Integrity is everything to me.
Yep.
Um, Unconditional love is everything to me. And if I can't operate in that, how dare I show up and present in any other way? That's literally, truly how I feel. And that can be problematic in itself because I've gone out to a lot of different things. And um, that there has posed problems, right? Because I'm coming with an intention of connection that goes on a deeper level. And it poses problems sometimes in the therapy practice. I'm going to be honest, because I do go deep with my clients in understanding them and caring for them, right? And I've had someone say it's like you find a friend in me, and that's a compliment. But I'm also a big believer that it takes, the best therapy is really like a good friendship, someone who can hold you accountable, right? Someone who can be real with you, someone who can own up when they've made a mistake, right? So it's that element of being able to walk the talk in this process for people as well, that helps you to step into your own. So it's that whole element of it's there. You have it. You just need to tap into it. And That's my role, is to help you. That's why I call myself a consciousness coach now. Because of the fact that it's about tapping into the consciousness, it's tapping into um, a better version of ourselves. But we can't do that if we're carrying everything from the past with us. We have to put that baggage down. So this, again, there's a series, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but there's a series that we'll go through. Awareness is the start. Fear, shame, control, boundaries, purpose. And the funny thing is, with each one of those things, different emotions are attached to it. And we are a work in progress our entire life. The nice thing is about doing this for a year, you're going to be really solid ingrained, but you also have something to come back to if something seems awry, right? Because you're going to pick up on it. You're going to know something's a little off. I need to go and do something about it. You'll have something. You'll have a group of people to even bounce ideas off, stuff off of, because it's not just about me. Yes, it's me bringing it to the table, but it's not just about me. So I'm doing 2 more previews. Next week, I literally will talk more. I'll delve into a little more what each component is, because that will give you an understanding. So if you're able to join, if not, you can get the recordings. That's not an issue. Just to kind of break it down. I didn't want to overwhelm people, to be honest, because I know from an attention span perspective, 20 minutes to a half hour is really a good frame of time. I booked an hour because I didn't know how many people would be on, right? At 12, not all 12 showed, and that's okay.
Do we need to sign up then for the other 2 sessions to get the full information?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just say it's set up right now. Because doing it all in this way is new to me. And as you will notice, I am fumbling along here and there. And you know what? I'm real. And I've always been that way. So I think that realness is what people can connect to. And that goes for all of us. We can tell within what's real and what's not real. It's been a work in progress to get to this point, to, for the lack of a better word, but sell myself. This is completely new to me. Speaking to a computer. Thank God you guys are here, because I'm speaking to human beings, right? But I have been told for years that I should have been doing this. Well, I don't like the word should, because I don't want to be backed into a corner. But now I get to. Like, I feel it. And that's a huge shift for me. Karina, Fran, or Chris, is there anything else that you would like to bring?
First of all, I think you're doing a great job. You look like completely natural, so that's what shows, at least when you're doing it. So
awesome. That's important. That this is me.
So I just had a quick question. Like, what would, if I were to commit to this, what would it look like? Like, do we meet once a week? Is there like,
what it would be is you would be meeting twice a month for group lives, where I would be taking you through the point of awareness method. You would get books or worksheets, I should say. You're going to get a tracker, so an emotional tracker. So you'll be able to gauge from 0 to 10 every month, right? When you do this work, you're going to see and notice the shift. There's also going to be audio meditations that I'm put forth with regards to each of the topics every month.
Okay.
There will be, we'll get you into a community on Facebook, right? And I don't know, I'm not liking Facebook as much these days, so it might be somewhere else, but there will be a community of people coming together. Okay. The price point for you guys, I don't have a problem being honest, but it's $66 a month US. And that has to be US for me to go global, unfortunately.
Yep.
Or $660 for the year US.
Okay.
So the US, you're saving 2 months.
Yeah.
Are you going to have a Canadian equivalent that we could e-transfer at all?
I haven't thought about that because it goes through, like I'm going to be using Stripe. So I don't know if it will automatically convert it. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's something that I can talk with my people about, that I'm planning on that end, because the techie stuff, not my forte. I'm the people person. But I can let you know, Luann.
Thank you. And any sign-up bonuses?
Oh, there will be free things. You know the way I am. Like there will be things. I just haven't decided on what that is yet. Okay.
How soon can we sign up?
It starts actually on May the 13th, so you can sign up anytime. I can give you the details, but yeah, there'll be lots of different things, and this also will be leading. You're not seeing it yet because the website's not completely built yet, but I'm going to be doing actually 5-day intensives in the Dominican. I call it the Sacred Reset. We're going to take you out of the space that you're in, because a lot of the noise can get in the way. So 5 days full immersive intensive doing the work with myself and another practitioner. And that's going to be around $2,000 USD, but there's food included. There's a tour included. Accommodations are included.
And do you have a time frame already booked for that we could start saving?
November, the first and second week, I'm doing 2 of them. So this is like really exciting. And
the only reason I'm asking is for myself personally, I am already in the process of deciding what activities I'm traveling to between now and December in order to budget for it.
Yeah. That makes sense. That price also doesn't include the plane fare, because there's no way of me gauging what the plane fare is going to be. So the plane fare you would have to get yourself. Okay. Again, they tried to do this as cost effective as possible for people. I don't believe in the $10,000 range. I'm going to be honest, and I know there's people out there that do, and have at her. But at this particular point, I'm not there. I want this accessible for people, for those who are ready to do the work. Karina.
Well, I had a question, but now I forgot my question. So
take a moment. It's okay. It happens.
I'm just drawing a blank right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. Fran, any questions? Anything I can answer for you, hun? Oh, maybe she doesn't.
No, I'm good. I'm just listening here, and as I'm developing questions, they're getting answered. So,
okay, cool.
I think you're doing a great job. I want to say that.
Thank
And you're always looking like you're in your element. So, yeah.
For all of you, please don't hesitate to send me an email, or if you've got my number, text me with anything. If you feel the call, please don't hesitate to share this with other people. If you think there's people that you know that would be interested in this, I would really appreciate that very much. And I think I just can't express my heartfelt love for all of you and the support that you've already shown me, if that makes any sense at all, as I get emotional. And that's me. I get emotional, and I'm okay with that. I think it's really important that you just honor what's right for you, whether it's this, whether it's not. Of course, I would love to have you, but I'm not going to chase anybody. I'm not going to pressure anybody. I'm not going to back anybody into a corner. That was a lot of what's held me back from doing this, to be honest. It's what I've seen out there, how it's high pressure. I don't want it to be that. My practice wasn't like that, and I don't want this to be like that either. I want it to be people who really want to do the work and see the value in what this is. So I'm bridging healing with psychology, spiritual wisdom, and this is all to help you to come home to yourself. The world teaches us survival. This membership is going to teach you emotional freedom. Because without emotional freedom, you can't really have joy. You can't really have the peace and the contentment that you deserve. So with that, I will bid you guys all adieu. Thank you for your attention and your time. And I look forward to connecting. You know, don't hesitate to reach out, give me feedback. I'm open. I'm an open book. And I love you all. And thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you, Pam, for having us.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much, Pam.
You're welcome.